One of my users asked me how I got my start in RMT and how I eventually ended up in China. That's a question I've gotten before, and so I'm going to go ahead and take the time to answer that now. I originally got started in RMT in about 2002. I was playing Everquest at the time, and I was also putting myself through college. College was expensive, and I didn't want to juggle both having a job and going to college at the same time, and so I was taking turns, doing about 2 quarters of college and then 2 quarters of work. And it was during one of these quarters where I was working, and I was just about to switch to start going back to college, and I realized that this quarter was going to be a little bit more expensive than normal for me, and I needed to figure something out, some kind of work at home plan, unless I wanted to work even longer. And so I had money on my mind, and with money on my mind, I began to notice the opportunity that there was in gaming at that time. And at this time, the industry hadn't had its great Chinese awakening yet. And so I looked very closely at the profit potential of the game, and specifically within the bazaar, or the Everquest marketplace. Since I had my own computer, which most people don't, most people are sharing a computer with their parents or something, so they can't leave Everquest running in the background. And back then you had to be logged in and running all the time that you're using the game's marketplace. That gave me a huge advantage, because I could list my items and keep them up for all day long. I started to list other people's items, and so that kind of got me started as a reseller of items in game. Later on, I started to move items between different servers, PVP and PVE. And the PVP servers, there was a huge gear difference. PVE characters or players had way better gear because they didn't have this threat from other characters or guilds that might try to block them from reaching end game content, or just, make life hard on them by killing them all the time. And because of this huge discrepancy, I found that I was able to just transfer back and forth between servers, and I got a good loop going, and in short order I was making at least $1,000 a month, which was pretty comparable to my take-home pay after taxes were taken out from my job where I was working at a factory. And of course, doing activities that I really didn't enjoy as much as staying at home, being able to blast some music and stay connected to my games. I later learned about botting, and at one point I had 20 computers in my room. I got those off of eBay really dirt cheap. Just search for a lot of computers, as in L-O-T. That doesn't mean a lot of computers, like, wow, that's a lot of computers. It means a lot like a business lot, like 3 pallets might make a lot. And so that started me doing RMT. It paid for my college all the way through, and eventually I started to work with some other people that were already doing RMT, and I resold through them, and I would also represent them. I was representing them at playerauctions.com at the time, because I had really high feedback and they didn't, and that meant that I could sell my goods or any services at a much better price than anyone else. That's not necessarily something I recommend, though, because eventually I got caught representing other people, and you're really not supposed to do that. At least not the way that I was at the time. Eventually, I got in touch with more and more people, did more business, got in touch with somebody in China, And this Chinese guy had a unique problem, which is that he had difficulty paying, or he had difficulty accepting payments from Western customers. But that's where all the customer base was. He also was getting banned a lot, and that was something that I had experience with. I knew exactly how to avoid bans, and so I gave him the information he needed in order to be more successful with his business. And his business really started to grow, and he wanted me as a partner. Also, I was able to help him funnel cash over through using my PayPal account. And because of that, I was holding all of his money. And since I had all of his money, I trusted him when he finally said, you know what, we're doing really well here. We can make a solid business. We can start something that'll grow huge if you come over and work with me. And so I came to China, and I've been here for 3 years now. I have helped his company grow a lot. He does like about 20,000 USD gross every month now, which is up 10 times from where we started. Although the amount that he keeps is reduced a little bit as like a percentile thing. And this is kind of business. When you get big business, you function off of a smaller percent. That's outside the context of this video, though. After arriving in China, I had a really great opportunity. I got recognized by playerauctions.com, and I actually got to work for them for about a year, and it was the best job of my life. And today I do all sorts of things. I'm starting to get interested into import-export. That's also outside the context of this video. However, now you know a little bit about my story. I'd like to hear your story, so do a video response and tell me, how did you get started in RMT? What brought you in? What feelings did you have? Do you have any interesting experiences to share? Did you ever have 20 computers in your room? Let the community know. This could be a fun thread.